2 years ago, like 10 years ago, I started comedy for real. But I think in the 4th or 5th grade, I decided I wanted to do comedy because I used to watch them niggas like, he took the mic down, he gonna be a minute. I can hear my mama, I'm ready to go to bed, but it's all right. When I was in the 4th or 5th grade, I used to watch a lot of Eddie Murphy movies. And we used to go to Hollywood Video all the time, and I used to beg my mama shit. And this one time I saw an Eddie Murphy movie, and he was in all red. I didn't know what this was, but I asked my mama to rent it, and she didn't know no better. So she rented me this movie, and I watched it for the first time, and I saw it, and I realized that this is the only art form where I can say pussy in front of my mama and she be proud. So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I want to do this forever. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So it really changed the trajectory of my life. And I would, as I grew up, I would watch Comedy Central a lot, and I would fall asleep to their comedy specials and their different shows they had. And I never told nobody that I had this dream. Everybody knew me for like art and being a creative person, but I never told nobody that I wanted to be a comedian. And as I got older, I would do things like speak at church, I would do plays and shit, but nobody ever knew that I wanted to do comedy. And I almost quit because I had a lot of funny ass friends and I was real quiet as a kid. And I saw one girl after I did one of my shows and I saw her downtown, and I ran into her. She was like, oh, what you doing? I was like, man, I just love a comedy show. I do comedy now. And she's like, oh, okay. You know who really needs to do comedy? Your friend Justin. And that embarrassed the fuck out of me because I was like, bitch, that's my dream, not this nigga. That nigga work at AT&T. I'm trying to do this shit for real. I don't have a job. But I didn't let that quit. I went through a lot of times. I went through a lot of hard times trying to do this comedy shit. A lot of people would tell me that like my friends was funnier than me because I was so quiet, so they didn't see that part of me as being a funny person. The niggas at the open mics would, and they was like, oh, you funny, but I'd go around people that knew me and I'd be quiet as shit. They didn't think none of my jokes was funny, but I figured it out. And eventually, long story short, I had a house down the street. I sold it. I sold my car to move to Austin because I realized it was going to be the next comedy city. I used to watch a lot of people and they were talking about it. So everybody's moving to Austin. Long story short, I didn't get there when I wanted to, but I eventually got there. I did all the things I wanted to do. I got on this small show, you may have heard of it, called Kill Tony. It changed a lot of niggas' lives before me. I got on, I did good, and the niggas never called me back. So I moved back to Shreveport because I saw a lot of people move ahead of me that were not as good in comedy or were doing whatever. So I realized that the niggas was at P. Diddy parties and they was sucking dick. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that just to tell jokes. I can do that shit at the house. So when I moved back in February, I decided to open up my club. So as soon as I moved back, I started finding places. And I would call businesses, and everybody I called, they was like, yeah, okay, well, what you want to do? And I'm like, well, I want to open a comedy club. And they would hang up the phone. But I got here, and I called this one guy, and he answered the phone, and I told him, hey, I want to rent your building. And I told him, we want to do a comedy club. And he was like, oh, shit, hell yeah, we can do that shit here. So thus, everybody here tonight. So I want to thank y'all so much for coming. Give us a round of applause. Yes, woo, please. I do want to say that today is another special occasion. This is our first official night open, even though it's a private show, but this is our first night open. Yeah. And thank you, sir. I appreciate that. This is also one of my favorite, I'm adopted. So my mama rescued me from a crack den, and I'm just playing. It's not that bad. Niggas got sad. Oh, no, I just think them niggas was like the fuck and didn't want a child. So, my parents adopted me at 10 days old. And I ended up meeting my blood family. And I have a cousin named Adrian. And he was a young guy. He was younger. He was like in his 20s, and I'm 33, so he was in his early 20s. And his birthday is today. The reason why it's significant is because some years ago, he got in a little trouble and he went to jail. He got out and he started working, and he would hit me up to borrow money. And he hit me up one week and he was like, hey, cuz, I'm waiting on my check, can I borrow a few dollars? I didn't tell him that it was my last few dollars because this is my little cousin. I try to show love, I try to give when I can. So I gave it to him and he said, don't worry about it, I'll pay you back this Friday. And I was like, it's cool, you good. Just pay me back when you can. And that same week, I got a phone call or a text message from his brother saying that, hey, Adrian just got shot. He's at the hospital. I need you to pick me up and my mama up. And I was like, say less, I'm on my way. I get there, I pick my aunt and my little cousin up. We get to the hospital and we're waiting in the family waiting room. And for like 15 of the longest minutes, we waiting. It was like a scene out of a movie, a TV show. The doctor came in and he was like, unfortunately, Adrian has passed away from his gunshot wounds. Of course, we were crying and we were sad and we didn't know what to do. I do gotta add that when you do comedy, you don't know this. As funny as we are, as much love as we have for this craft, it takes a long time to make money. Sometimes we make no money for it. It's the love of the game to try to get to the point to where people pay to come see us. So I really appreciate y'all for donating. Now, as any artist, really, when you start off, you have $0. So money is very important to us. So later on, we get to the funeral and we're sitting there and we have all the services and things, and I start to break down. And somebody asked me, they're like, Mark, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm really not. And it's like, well, what are you thinking about? I was like, well, that nigga never paid me back.